Audi's RS e-tron GT takes its RS performance brand into a fresh, electrified era. Though the price is high and most of the core technology here is shared with this car's Porsche Taycan Turbo cousin, it's all been delivered with a distinctly Audi feel and character. 60 is a blink of an eye away, yet you're in a planet-friendly EV. And it's all been delivered with a very Ingolstadt-style dose of that want one factor.
Once exclusively reserved for throbbing petrol power plants, Audi's RS badge can now be found adorning a car with no fossil fuel addiction at all. This one, the RS e-tron GT. It's the fastest of Audi's two offered e-tron GT models and a direct Ingolstadt interpretation of this car's close cousin, the Porsche Taycan Turbo. Most of the same technology is inevitably shared between the two cars, but this Audi has its own distinctive look and feel, which for many will set it apart. In real-world terms, this is the fastest car the brand has ever made. It's also the flagship model in the company's growing e-tron EV range. Both are reasons, should you need them, to take this contender very seriously indeed. Get ready for lots of numbers. The RS e-tron GT uses a 238 PS front motor with another at the back offering 456 PS. You can't simply add those figures together to get its total output because the two motors never reach power together. That total figure is actually quoted at 598 PS, 122 more than an ordinary e-tron GT, or for a 2-second burst when you need acceleration, 646 PS, which is 116 PS more than an ordinary e-tron GT. For reference, this RS e-tron's total boosted output figure is 34 PS less than that of its identically engineered development cousin, the Porsche Taycan Turbo. Assuming you're up for a few more figures, you'll want to know how fast this recipe makes the RS. Well, think 62 miles an hour in 3.3 seconds, which is pretty impressive for something weighing in at 2,347 kilos in curb weight. Audi's differentiated this car from its Porsche cousin wherever it could, which in terms of drive dynamics means a different feel to the steering. It's lighter than it is in a Taycan and more familiar to customers graduating to this car from another Audi. This model's prodigious curb weight gives this contender a different feel from other Audi RS models, but because the mass is low and centrally placed, the car still corners with conviction. Whether there's enough of a real-world performance advantage here to justify the considerable price premium over an ordinary e-tron GT Quattro is another question. Various drive modes adjust throttle feel and steering weight, and of course ride comfort too via the adaptive damping system. You'll want to select the quickest dynamic setting whenever possible. There isn't much visual differentiation between this RS model and a standard e-tron GT Quattro. Matrix headlamps are fitted to the RS variants, but you can also have those on the standard GT if you pay more. Your best bet is to look at the wheels, which on the RS e-tron GT are bespoke 21-inch designs in either platinum grey or gloss black, depending on version. All RS e-tron GT models get Audi's black styling pack, which adds that colour to the single-frame front grille, the lower section of the front and rear bumpers, the side sills, the door trim inlays, the diffuser and the badge work. Otherwise, the aesthetic recipe is shared with both versions of this Gran Turismo-style EV design, which means a long wheelbase, a wide track, large wheels and a low-lying silhouette, which together deliver beautifully balanced, sleek and aerodynamic proportions. The drag coefficient is a slippery 0.24 CD. The dimensions are certainly those of a classic Grand Tourer, with a 4.99 metre length and 1.96 metres of width, but a height of just 1.41 metres. Inside, travellers in the RS e-tron GT enjoy an upgrade to Front Sport Seats Pro sports chairs with 18-way adjustment, ventilation and massage capability. The facing's treated to full perforated fine Napa leather upholstery. Previous R8 owners will recognise the strong monoposto style driver focus. The upper section of the light, lean instrument panel with its pronounced three-dimensional look forms an elegant arc, and the display of the standard 12.3-inch Audi Virtual Cockpit Plus screen stands freely within it. The driver and front passenger sit low in the cockpit, separated by a wide centre console which houses the gear selector switch, its compact design emphasising the sense of space and providing a precise haptic control experience. We mentioned the Virtual Cockpit Plus screen. The Plus references the inclusion here of an extra display option, the single-dial e-tron Sport layout that you'll want to stay in most of the time. A tap of this steering wheel view button can replace it with full-screen mapping, or if you wish you can switch away to the more conventional twin-dial Classic and Sport instrument binnacle layouts that you get on an ordinary e-tron GT. The central touchscreen is smaller than the one found in a comparable Porsche Taycan Turbo, but most will find the 10.1-inch size to be sufficient and perhaps appreciate that, surprisingly, this e-tron is the only car in its class to offer both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring systems. Its state-of-the-art MIB3 modular infotainment platform can't allow you to play games or watch Netflix, as the comparable system can in a Tesla, but it's certainly quite rapid at delivering the info you need. The rear seats offer sufficient space even for adults who are able to sit lower and position their feet in what is known as a foot garage, thanks to a recess incorporated in the design of the battery pack running underneath the passenger compartment, which effectively compensates for the tapering roofline. Their luggage could be stowed in the rear load area, providing a volume of up to 405 litres. A small further compartment lies beneath the leading edge of the floor, and there are useful recesses in either corner of the cargo area, with the 12-volt socket on the right and a netted cubby on the left. A second luggage compartment beneath the bonnet offers a further 81 litres of space. Prices for the RS e-tron GT Quattro start at around £112,000. Compare that to around £81,000 for the standard e-tron GT Quattro model. If you're set on the RS but want more kit, there's a carbon black version available for around £126,000, and this top carbon Vorsprung variant offered for around £135,000. The obvious rival to look at is the very similarly engineered Porsche Taycan Turbo, which costs £6,000 more than the base version of this RS e-tron GT. But comparisons with that Porsche can't be quite exact, because the Taycan Turbo puts out 680 PS, 34 PS more than this Audi. Still, you may struggle to see how this marginal advantage justifies that Porsche model's price premium. The Taycan range, as you might know, also offers an even faster Turbo S variant with 761 PS at an eye-watering £140,000. But that powertrain, for the moment, is being reserved for Zuffenhausen. The other competitor you might be considering is the Tesla Model S Plaid, which offers more power, over 1,000 horsepower, yes really, but potentially costs more too, around £120,000. As befits its positioning in the range, this RS e-tron GT comes with a package of key e-tron GT features, many of which you'd have to pay extra for on an ordinary e-tron GT Quattro. You'd only get them all on the pricey top £107,000 e-tron GT Vorsprung variant. We're talking about things like air suspension, all-wheel steering, the electromechanical power steering plus system, intelligent matrix LED headlights with Audi laser light, a Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system, and Audi's upgraded front Sport Seats Pro package. To that, this RS derivative further adds larger 21-inch wheels fitted with upgraded tungsten carbide coated steel brakes with black calipers. Now, you can order this RS model with a darker, meaner look if you go for the carbon black version, which gets a gloss carbon styling package, carbon fibre reinforced polymer or CFRP roof, and CFRP exterior mirror housings, plus red-themed RS interior design touches. If you want a carbon black model with the full roster of Audi's Vorsprung features, then this top carbon Vorsprung variant will deliver that to you. At this level, you get front seats with ventilation and massage functions, plus heat for the rear bench, along with a head-up display and night vision assist. Carbon Vorsprung spec also gets you Audi's parking assist with remote parking pilot system. And this enables the driver to manoeuvre the car into and out of a parallel or bay parking space by simply pushing a button and without needing to be seated in the vehicle. From outside, the process can be activated and supervised via the My Audi app on a smartphone. By keeping the corresponding button pressed, the car will roll into the space, making multiple manoeuvres if necessary. And once in position, we'll switch off the drive system, activate the parking lock, and lock the doors. Brilliant. With the two lower order RS variants, your Audi salesperson will want you to consider two driving assistance packs, which only come as standard if you stretch up to this top carbon Vorsprung level of spec. The packs are called Tour and City Assist. Tour includes two features that really ought to be standard on a Gran Turismo style model of this price. One is traffic sign recognition, the other is adaptive cruise assist, which uses a radar sensor, a laser scanner, a front camera and ultrasonic sensors, all networked together to permanently monitor your e-tron GT surroundings. Drawing on feedback from these systems, plus local speed restrictions and navigation data, Adaptive Cruise Assist will be able to help you to more proactively control acceleration, braking, lane positioning and distance to the vehicle in front, all at any speed and with functionality that's equally effective whether you're stuck in traffic or completely alone on the road. As for the City Assist pack, well, that gives you four features. An intersection assist, cross-traffic assist front feature, which warns the driver of traffic crossing to the front or to the side of the vehicle that they might be about to steer in front of. There's side assist, lane change warning, which stops you from dangerously pulling out in front of another vehicle. There's cross-traffic assist rear, which warns you if you're about to reverse into something. And there's exit warning, which warns occupants if they're about to open their doors in the face of oncoming traffic. The clever 800-volt electric system that all e-tron GT models use doesn't help driving range much. For this RS variant, that's WLTP rated at 283 miles, 15 miles less than the standard e-tron GT Quattro, which isn't especially impressive when you consider what a rival Tesla Model S Plaid can manage, 396 miles. Charging ports for the 93.4 kilowatt-hour battery can be found behind both front wheels, each side featuring AC connectors with a DC socket on the right side. As you'd expect, there are two charging cables, a Type 2 Mode 3 AC cable for your garage wall box, and a Type 2 Mode 2 cable for domestic and industrial plugs. The e-tron GT can charge up 11 kilowatt AC as standard. There's an optional on-board charger available to increase that to 22 kilowatts. At a sufficiently powerful DC terminal, this electric GT can achieve a peak charging capacity of up to 270 kilowatts, allowing it to take on board enough charge for a journey of up to 62 miles in just over 5 minutes. Charging from 5 to 80% state of charge takes less than 23 minutes in ideal conditions from a rapid public charger. Accessing and paying for electricity while on the road can be easily taken care of using the e-tron charging service, which provides UK subscribers with one RFID payment card that's accepted at a vast number of charge points operated by 18 suppliers across the UK and Europe, and offers a choice of 2 fixed-price charging tariffs. Like the e-tron GT, this RS has a top-of-the-shop insurance group rating of 50p and is covered by a 3-year, 60,000-mile warranty, plus Audi issues an 8-year or 100,000-mile warranty that guarantees battery performance, though not to 100%. This RS e-tron GT's 1% BIK rating will obviously make quite a difference to your tax liability. To give you some perspective on that, we'll tell you that a high-rate taxpayer driving an Audi S8 will be charged more than £16,000 a year for their company perk. This uncharacteristic generosity on the part of HMRC is, of course, down to the fact that, like any EV, this one claims a zero-emissions CO2 figure. The ultimate EV can't be very far from what's on offer in Audi's RS e-tron GT. 60 from rest, as fast as a superbike. Cabin luxury to rival a limousine. And an 800-volt electrified powertrain charging system under the sculpted body panels with technology lifted direct from Audi's Le Mans winning racing car. If the Ingolstadt brand could have capped all of this with a Tesla-style extended driving range, then all would have been perfect. As it is, the 283-mile figure on offer here is the kind of thing it's possible to get from a little Korean EV compact crossover these days. And you're unlikely to approach that kind of return very often. Such is the temptation here to constantly exercise this e-tron RS model's astonishing reserves of power. So, the range is a disappointment, and the asking price might limit this car to lottery winners. But even so, it's an astonishing technological achievement and, in its own unique way, one of the most desirable Audi RS models ever made.